think we're going to go work in the shop and do a little maintenance on a heater that's down right now in my bathroom in there. Alright, today we're working on a Broan new tone flush mounted wall heater, little 120 volt unit inside my little bathroom area in my shop. First things first, let's go ahead and pull the, whoa, wait a minute. First things first, think safety, gloves. When I'm working around electrical, I like to use leather gloves because they give you quite a bit of good protection, and if you do have an arcing event or something, they will protect your hands on, you know, light stuff like this, 120 volt. Anyway, pull this off, and it can be a little hard to get off at times. See there? Alright, you got 2 screws that hold it in the wall here. I'm going to go ahead and take those out. I always start with the screw closest to me. That way I can hold it when I'm getting the other screw out and it doesn't fall down and scratch my wall all up. Okay, take the wall plate off. That's what the inside looks like. Okay, so let's do a little troubleshooting. I got my meter here, and this is the internal thermostat that I suspect is the problem. So I'm going to hold my meter on there, verify I got voltage. On one side you can see my red light on my meter. So I got 120 there, the other side nothing. Okay, turn the knob all the way the other way, put my meter on, I've got 120 there, you can see my light. The other side I don't have anything. Okay, alright, if I look up here, I see entrance heater, circuit number 3. So the way these panels are marked, you got 1 over on the left, 2 on the right, 3 up back on the left, 4, 5, 6 back and forth. So it's going to be the second one from the bottom. We're going to turn it off. Now we should have the power off, but we need to verify it first. For that, there's a couple of tools we can use. We can use these proximity meters, which you can get pretty much anywhere. I don't really like these for a lot of people because they don't read DC. You can't use them on your car. They have a lot of limitations, but they're pretty good. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to verify the meter works. So we're going to turn it on. 3, 4. Okay. We're going to look up over here. We're going to put it in the outlet and it should light up. Well, it's not. What the heck? Okay, is my GFI working? Let's test it. Press the test. A little light went off there. Press reset. Got my light back. Still don't have anything. Okay. So I would say probably we just need to replace the batteries. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, these batteries are in pretty bad shape. They've probably been in there since I bought the meter. You can see the residue on them. So let's put a couple new ones in. Okay, there you go. So now I'm actually going to put my hands inside the heater, and this is where I'm going to test it after I turn it off in the box. So I'm going to go up here to my outlet I had earlier. Use my proximity meter. Stick it in there. I get a nice glowing red light. That means it's working. Come back here. Put it on here. I don't see anything. Again, that light's flashing, telling me that it's on. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back to my outlet, and I'm going to test it again. There you go, got my red light, so I know it's working before and after. That's important. Any good electrician will tell you that's the test they do. You test your meter before, perform your test, and then you test it after to make sure it was working. Okay. Now these units, there's a little plug-in down here, real nice for disconnecting it. Just pull that out. There you go. Now you don't have any power. There's a screw right up here in the corner that you take out. And that allows you to pull the whole unit out of the wall. Like that. There you go. Now we can go put it on the bench and work on it. Alright, here's our unit on the bench. So our thermostat's located over here. Let's go ahead and disconnect the wiring on it. And to do that, just pull them off. Little clip connectors there. And take our screwdriver. Care of. We have it out. It's got a bracket on there, so pay attention to how this bracket is on there. If you look, there's a tab that hangs down, and it is on the bottom of the unit. That's important, otherwise it won't fit back in there right. Gonna take the nut off. Little nut that fits on there. Remove it from the bracket. Need to go ahead and write it down. It's S9903091. Thermostat for wall heaters. Okay. Now to put the bracket back on, we got the little tab part. Put it on the bottom again. And reinstall the lock nut. Alright, that lock nut wasn't very secure on there, so I'm going to go ahead and take a crescent wrench, tighten it up just a little bit. Don't want to get it too tight because it's kind of thin material, but you also don't want it wobbling around in there. Okay, there we go. Now we want to go ahead, while we got it off, and take a good look at the unit. So I don't see anything loose in the connections. Nothing looks burnt. That's important. And the fan, does it move? You know, the fan seems to move real well. If there was any roughness in that, we'd go ahead and order a new fan and repair it. So because this is a pretty dusty, dirty service, you can put a little bit of oil on them, but for me, that attracts dust. So I tend not to use too much oil on moving parts in places that are going to get real dusty and dirty. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, depending on the application. So anyway, everything looks pretty good here. These are the heating elements over here. And that's what the electricity heats up, and then the fan, of course, blows the hot air out. One thing I do like to do is put a little bit of silicone grease on the connections. You can get this at any hardware store. Anytime you're working around automotive connectors, you want to put them on. Great for ATVs, things like that where they're going to get wet. But in this case, it just helps knock down the corrosion. You want just a little dab. And basically what you're going to do is put it on there like that and smear it right back off. Okay? Plug these in. Make sure they're fully engaged all the way in there. As far as they'll go. And put our screws back on. And get those nice and tight. Not too tight. And then we'll check and see if it's going to work. Alright, not sure if you could see that earlier. This is a 170B new tone. Let's go ahead. We got our new thermostat in there. Let's go ahead and put it back in the wall. Now there's a couple of tabs right here that you get it behind and you just insert it. Okay. Oh, one thing I did want to show you. This here, it's a cover. That's where the wires from the breaker box come in. So they do keep that covered for you. Nice feature. Anyway, stick this side in first. Get it back behind there. And reinsert it. There we go. Put that screw back in there. Let's go ahead and insert the power cord back. And I'll tell you what, before we put the faceplate on, let's see what it does. I'm going to go turn the breaker on. Alright, and there you go, folks. See if it'll turn off. Okay. Yeah, we got nice warm air again. So we'll go ahead and put the faceplate back on. Turn that off. There again, I'm going to start with the screw farthest away from me. Marks on your wall so you get it back in the same place. I like to leave one of them loose until I get my knob back on, because it does, the faceplate just kind of floats around in there. Now if you look in there, there's a flat spot, and you got to get that flat spot lined up with the knob. Okay, and once you got that, go ahead and tighten this back up. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Now it's time to go fishing. So hey, if you enjoyed the video, please hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.